It's Leeds against Cardiff at Ellen Road this Sunday lunchtime. Your commentators, Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
And Cardiff City prepared to kick us off here. They've stayed put in ninth after no one anywhere near them made up any ground in the championship table. Leeds down a couple of places from 5th to 7th, just outside the playoff places, just where they finished, of course, last year. A win, though, will take them up to 3rd. A win will take Cardiff above their hosts, Leeds United.
Oh, typical championship, isn't it? So tight. 13, 14 games in, 4 points separating 3rd place Palace down to 11th placed Ipswich. All there to be played for.
Just a little blip in upward progress is how Simon Grayson would see it. They played pretty well at Birmingham despite ending up empty-handed. That was their game in hand that they were looking to use to make up ground. But an unbeaten run of 8 games coming into that is what Simon Grayson was focusing on and will focus on coming into this one.
Well, when you've had a negative as a manager, you're looking for a response, aren't you? And that's right, they would love to get back onto a decent run, decent unbeaten run, shoot you quite a few places up the championship at any given time.
Yeah, it's so tight, isn't it? At the start of the weekend, the top 10 separated by 7 points, 4 points from 2nd to 10th. The field's become just a little more spread now, but still 4 points between 3rd and 11th. And when you consider that we are in busy times at the moment, the whole field go again on Tuesday or Wednesday in the case of these two, ground and gaps can be closed pretty quickly. Rebuilding while continuing upward progress has been the brief of Malky Mackay. A lot of new faces and a very different feel to the side from the one that came here almost exactly 12 months ago and stormed to a 4-0 win. Handball there against young Joe Mason, 20-year-old Republic of Ireland, under-21 international, and keeping Kenny Miller and Rob Earnshaw out of the side.
No question. Cardiff supporters will remember last season's, but Cardiff have been a bit of a bogey team to Leeds United. 6 straight wins. And you wonder sometimes how that works. Sometimes coincidence. Sometimes a club is simply in a better place than another club, but it's a bit of a mystery between these two.
Here's McCormack. Every time he touches the ball, you can see that he's a player coursing with confidence. And so too Mason. And lays it off here to McNaughton. And Joe Mason scored the winner against Burnley to set up Cardiff's first League Cup quarter-final since 1965, and a pretty decent draw in terms of progressing. They got a home draw against Blackburn to get into the last 4. Here's McNaughton. And the fullback who's been given a more attacking brief this season under Malky Mackay, certainly getting forward. Gunnarsson spreading here for Andrew Taylor. Back to Aaron Gunnarsson. And it took a fingertip save there from Paul Rahubka to keep out Cardiff.
Well, it's good football all round. You said about McNaughton having an attacking brief. This is Taylor on the left, finding Gunnarsson, who's been in the goals, you know. It's a really good shot. That is creeping into that bottom left-hand corner, but Rahubka does really well just to tip that away.
First corner, a chance for Peter Whittingham to whip one in, which is exactly what he does. In the South Yorkshire sunshine, still some defending to do, and the bounce is kindly for the home side. Well, he's had his critics, Paul Rahubka. He was very much culpable for the late commentary equaliser here, but that was a super save done.
Oh, it really was, because it was struck really well by Aaron Gunnarsson. Always good for a goalkeeper to confident first touch of the ball in a match, an important match.
Tom Lees, the young centre-half, penalised for just pushing into the back of Joe Mason. McNaughton. A touch from Gunnarsson. And McPhail back on familiar ground. Tanner's attempted clearance blocked. Howson and A.D. White. McCormack quick to spring. And taking up a good position wide here, Ross McCormack, support in the middle. Well, there was no way of picking up Danny Pugh, the Cardiff defender's mass, but McCormack again, and Leeds have the corner.
Oh, 5 minutes in. Both had a corner. Leeds didn't particularly deal emphatically with Cardiff's corner. Let's see how Cardiff cope.
Scottish international Robert Snodgrass has gone across to take it. And took a block in there to get it clear. Header was directed on goal. Here's A.D. White as Leeds look to keep this pressure on. Snodgrass. Pugh. Out by Hudson.
Well, neither defence coped. One corner each. Neither defence coped overconfidently. Has to be said, Tom Lees got his head on that corner. That'll be a concern. We know that both of these teams have got absolute bagfuls of goals in them. We also know at times that both of them are very capable of conceding. In fact, Coventry City in third bottom have conceded less goals than both of these two teams who are shooting at the top end of the table. It just shows you.
Yeah, if you're a betting man, you might shy away from the goalless draw on this one. Leeds don't deal on them. They've only had one this season. They've only had two in the year of 2011. Cardiff's last goalless draw you might have seen with us at home against Leicester City. Headed on by Howson. Simon Grayson has seen his side draw a blank here against Middlesbrough in their opening home game this season. They were frustrated midweek against Birmingham. Other than that, they have scored in every single championship match this season, 11 of the 13.
Home form, absolutely pivotal, isn't it? Just look at Southampton. They've got that little cushion at the top now. They've got it because of that sensational home form. 1-7 out of 7 at St Mary's. Leeds United need to be strong here at Ellen Road. They've only lost one of the last 22 championship home games here, so difficult place for the opposition to come.
Keogh looking for McCormack. The front two combining for the first time this afternoon.
Well, there was a little slip from the centre-half, Ben Turner. Watch in the middle of your screen there. Just as this ball comes in, he slips over, and that could have been really costly, but it was an in-swinging ball, and that's what took it into the grateful arms of David Marshall.
Ross McCormack, 9 championship goals in 12 games. Joint top scorer with Ricky Lambert of Southampton in this league. But he'll be first to give credit to those around him, particularly Andy Keogh, who plays a largely unsung supporting role.
Absolutely flourished, hasn't he, in that partnership.
It tells you everything you need to know about it. The fact that Luciano Becchio is on the bench. McCormack causing real problems. Phil Dowd letting it go initially, but he's pulled it back.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant refereeing, that is. And that's what you want to see. You want to see a referee just see, can there be an advantage? I mean, there's clear foul by Hudson. No advantage. Pull it back. And not only that, Mark Hudson seen a yellow card for that. The way those Leeds strikers buzz around McCormack and Keogh. Mark Hudson got to tread really carefully now.
Well, there's Darren O'Dea, who's transformed himself into a goal-scoring centre-half in the last couple of weeks. He's got 2 in his last 3. Snodgrass delivers it to over O'Dea. It's Keogh, and that is a super save from David Marshall at point-blank range.
Called into action now. Both goalkeepers. Both stood up to the test.
Now comes Lees.
Well, that's a couple of balls that have come into the penalty area now of Cardiff, and it's Leeds United's players that have got on the end. This time it's Andy Keogh, who really having got his head on, he just can't get the direction he wants. Stays strong, gets a good head on it, but it's within David Marshall's range, isn't it? And the goalkeeper parries it away from any danger. It's good goalkeeping.
And Tom Heaton was in goal for the clean sheet midweek that saw them get past Burnley into the Carling Cup quarter-final. David Marshall returning for league duties. Conceded 12 in his last 5 games. It's one of the reasons that consistency, which we heard Malky Mackay talking about to Patrick Davidson before the kick-off, has been elusive for Cardiff.
I'm not saying they've conceded. They've also been well in the goals as well. Thrilling games in the last 2. What's 5-3 victory against Barnsley and a 4-3 defeat against Peterborough. Great entertainment for the neutral, but not really what the manager's asking for.
And at the start of the season, many would have expected that those would be the front two on the pitch rather than in the dugout. The experience on the sidelines for the youth of Joe Mason, and it's not a formation really, Don, that accommodates 2 strikers, is it, that Malky Mackay goes with?
No, it hasn't. That's why I don't think they've popped up very often together as a pair, have they?
Snodgrass covering back, and out by Connolly. Taylor, and Leeds comes across to cover for Leeds. And Simon Grayson understandably pleased with the results they've largely been picking up, but also with the defensive performances, and no coincidence that it's a settled back 4 that has started the last 6-7 games.
Well, Aaron Gunnison has got the ball. He's got a monster throw. The 2 central defenders have gone up for Cardiff.
Extraordinary trajectory on it as well. It's come to Whittingham on that trusty left foot, and it's out by Connolly.
It's an important block. The ball was travelling.
Here's A.D. White looking to release Pugh. McNaughton covering back. Darren O'D. Hooker didn't quite get enough on that, so it's come to Whittingham, who used his hand to control it right under the nose of Phil Dowd.
No real complaints from Peter Whittingham, which tells you probably was a handball. Really awkward, wasn't it? Spinning, it's a horrible clearance from Rahubka. Just spins out, going away from him, just raises the arm, which it catches, and Phil Dowd is spot on.
Phil Dowd, incidentally, taking charge of his first Football League match of the season. Ross McCormack just offside. Well, right in line with that, Don. Looked a tight one.
Well, it must have been, and it was a late flag. He took his time, didn't he, the assistant referee on this side, as that ball is cleared there. He's spot on, isn't he? Ross McCormack a little bit slow getting back into that onside position. And it's the right decision.
Well, by his standards, he's in a little bit of a goal drought. Ross McCormack hasn't scored in his last 3. Not by the standards of 19 without at the start of his Leeds career, but it is the longest spell he's been this season without a goal.
He started the game sharp, though, hasn't he? That's the important thing. He's looked lively, his movement's been good. He's been in the thick of the attacking action for Leeds United. It's not affecting him at the moment.
Keogh and Pugh. McCormack. This is A.D. White. He showed a little too much of that to the ever-present Don Cowie.
Wonder how important the first goal here this afternoon will be. 2 teams that haven't got good records when they concede first. Neither of them They've managed to turn a game round this season so far.
Free kick for Leeds. Well, 2 home games for Leeds in the space of under 4 days. Blackpool come here on Wednesday. You know that they will have just seen it as a great chance to make up some ground on the table. Back with real interest by McPhail.
Well, they acknowledged that straight away, Stephen McPhail. Hand up to David Marshall. Dealt with it as best he could, but still gives Leeds possession in decent territory.
McCormack. Clayton. Snodgrass. Still Snodgrass did superbly well to get a cross in for Keogh to attack. Mason now for Cardiff as they contemplate a counter-attack. Cowie. It's good pressing to force him back towards his own box. Gunnarsson, Whittingham trying to feed it in for Mason, who has pace but not quite enough space to make up the ground on O'Dea. But here is Mason. O'Dea loses out and Mason fills his boots. It's 3-3 for young Joe Mason and Cardiff lead.
Well, I'm sure Simon Grayson's going to be pulling his hair out on the Leeds bench. Defensive frailties. Must have thought they were getting over, giving silly, cheap goals away like this. But look, there's no danger. It's nice play and the ball's played into a dangerous area, but O'Dea's got to deal with that. Put your foot through it, get the ball away and take no chances whatsoever. Darren O'Dea just chooses to try and have another touch. He's trying to touch that ball away with his right foot. He doesn't make contact and he leaves it. And Mason takes full control of it. Maybe a little nudge, but there's no complaints. Look at Darren O'Dea. Straight away, no complaints about the nudge. And it's a really horrible goal to give away from a Leeds United perspective.
Some ghoulish defending from Leeds United on this Halloween weekend. And you mentioned the importance of the first goal. Cardiff City have it. Different personnel involved, but you might remember last year that Kasper Schmeichel and Alex Bruce had a bit of a mix-up which led to Cardiff's first goal. Jay Bothroyd was the one who took advantage. He's now departed, so the likes of Chopper, who got 2 that day, Craig Bellamy pulling the strings. It's a very different Cardiff, as we said. But is it going to be the same old story? 1984, the last time Leeds beat Cardiff. That was at Ninian Park. September 1983, the last time that they won here at Ellen Road. In by Connolly. Turner away. Connolly. Glanced away, only as far as Clayton. Really important header out by Hudson. There were a couple of Leeds players waiting at the far post. The Leeds mustering a response here. Aidy White. Turner's touch. Conway. And Connolly. Call from Marshall and he comes to claim.
Good solid goalkeeping, isn't it? We heard the call from up here. Always in control of it, but a decent response from Leeds to go in behind. There's a long way to go. We know Leeds United very capable of scoring goals. Cardiff City conceded 7 in their last 2 championship games, so it's been a long time since they've had a clean sheet, and Leeds will be very aware of that.
I'm sure Malcolm Mackay will point you towards the fact that in Carling Cup terms they had a clean sheet with largely the same side on Wednesday night. 1-0 scoreline did them there. 1-0 scoreline they have in the 20th minute here. McPhail, McNaughton. There's Mark Hudson. Whittingham. McNaughton trying to turn away from A.D. White. Conway's come across to try and make a bit of mischief on the right.
Yeah, not really convincing clearance from Darren O'Dea, but this time at least took no chances. I think Cardiff have got slight height advantage, you know, the two big centre halves particularly.
Well, Ben Turner's at the far post. Just saw it blocked away by Darren O'Dea. Both sides looking a little uncomfortable from corners, aren't they, Don?
Yeah, very much so.
Snodgrass. And they came off the arm of McCormack, and the assistant is flagging for that. That's where Ross McCormack reckoned it hit him.
To his shoulder, the assistant referee is literally a couple of yards away. Is that a handball? I don't think so.
Cardiff definitely come into the category of bogey side as far as Leeds are concerned. They haven't even scored here against Cardiff for the last 3 seasons they've met. Looking for their first home goal against them for 4 meetings, stretching back 6 years. Keogh's touch for Pugh, but back comes McNaughton.
A perfect away performance so far, isn't it, from Cardiff City? Soaked up a little bit of pressure. Pretty dangerous on the counter-attack. Got their noses in front.
Keogh's touch. It's a good one as well. McCormack's in there. So too Snodgrass. And it's just touched around the post.
Oh, what a good burst down the left from A.D. White. It's a good ball in, and Andy Keogh, mindful he's got support behind him, gets the little flick over. Snodgrass gets the header. Marshall tips it round. I think it was going wide anyway. Keeper not to know.
He's trying to get a goal as O'Dea couldn't hold it. Connolly now. Snodgrass. Blocked away to Pugh.
Well, it's another corner, isn't it, that Cardiff City did not deal well with at all. They've got another one to face, but this all comes from the corner. Snodgrass trying to cut inside. Lots of bodies, look, lots of black shirts blocking his path.
Snodgrass for Connolly. It's loose. McCormack pounces. Connolly cut out at source by McPhail.
Well, they're under pressure, Cardiff. No question. Leeds United really pushing them back, looking for the equaliser.
Danny Pugh. Cut out by McNaughton. Gunnarsson, the Icelandic international. McPhail. And his return after missing the early part of the season through illness Here's a timely one. That's composure and a passing element to the midfield, Stephen McPhail, when he's on song. Here's Conway, formerly of Dundee United. Just had his heels clipped there by Robert Snodgrass.
Conway, you know, he can run with the ball, likes to run, just a tangle of legs, isn't it? It's innocuous, but it is a foul. It's another free kick, set piece, this time for Leeds to defend. Whittingham, we know, real quality delivery.
And there's the cavalry awaiting that delivery. Big Ben Turner, still looking for his first goal for the club, and Mark Hudson as well. And Joe Mason also, who we have seen score the only goal of the afternoon so far. In by Cowie.
Half a chance there, and that is why hands are on the head, because everybody misses it. Coming round the back, there's a couple of Cardiff players. I think one takes the ball away from the other. There's a little flick there by Hudson. He takes it off Gunnarsson's head. That's why his hands were on it.
Well, a couple of Cardiff players coming into form. Darren O'Dea just will need a little bit of treatment, but Mason, as we've heard, is 3 in 3. Let's have another look at the goal that separates the sides.
Well, there was a little question as to whether Joe Mason nudges Darren O'Dea, but he's certainly not strong enough. He leans into him, but it doesn't alter his path. And Darren O'Dea doesn't even appeal for the nudge. And that tells me everything I need to know. It's a horrible mistake from a defender who's just got to clear his lines. Corner, throw in, just give it away, get the ball away, or pay the ultimate price. There's the little nudge. There's no real contact. It doesn't move the defender. It's a horrible mistake. Joe Mason doesn't care. Simple tap-in. Tom Lees can't get back in time, and Cardiff have got something to hang on to.
It's a situation that Darren O'Dea should have been in control of, though, Don, isn't it?
I think he went to nudge the ball away with his right foot, and he didn't make any contact, or barely any contact on the ball to get it to the side. That allowed Mason just to nip in and take it round the goalkeeper.
Mason making a nuisance of himself, jumping there into Lees. And ball given against young Joe Mason. And Plymouth's lost Cardiff's gain. He was part of the exodus of players to balance the books at home park over the summer, but goodness me, he started to find his feet, hasn't he? He's a Cardiff City player. Howson. Crossed by Eddie White, took a deflection. And McCormack feels he was impeded inside the penalty area. He's down. Nothing's going to be given by the referee here, or his assistant.
Well, there's a little coming together. Looks fairly innocuous. It's Ben Turner who has got... Does he just raise an arm? The ball spinning in the general direction of... He's just got his arm out for guidance. Maybe catches Ross McCormack in the face, but purely accidental. Absolutely nothing in it whatsoever. It's almost like he was putting his arm out to gauge where Ross McCormack was. He's appealing his innocence.
It doesn't seem like it, but 20 years ago, Leeds United were champions of the land. They've been celebrating that this weekend. A big dinner here at Elland Road last night. Over 1,000 people here, and many of the legends of Howard Wilkinson's 1992 championship winning side. The last season before the Premier League came into existence. Gordon Strachan, the skipper, Gary McAllister there as well. Some familiar faces. Steve Hodge you can probably pick out. And there is Howard Wilkinson too. Now, this is rather unorthodox, isn't it? Aaron Gunnarsson getting stuck between the hoardings and the pitch. He's up and running and hurls another giant ball into the box that Rahutka spills and eventually gathers.
Nearly had the last laugh, didn't he, Gunnarsson?
Well, it hasn't been the happiest of afternoons for Darren O'Dea. Very much at fault for the Cardiff City goal, and I think he's picked up an injury as well. Patrick Kisnorbo is stripped and ready to come on and replace him. O'Dea goes long. I don't think he's going to be out there for long, Don. And Kisnorbo, who's suddenly had to do his penance, hasn't he? Was sent off against Bristol City and hasn't featured for Leeds United, hasn't started a match for Leeds United since.
4 red cards in 13 championship games Leeds United have had. It's terrible discipline, or lack of.
So the settled back four that we were discussing being a benefit to Leeds United recently is going to be tinkered with. And the change is going to be made. That's a pretty capable replacement, Patrick Kisnorbo. Had last season decimated by an Achilles injury, only made his last appearance on the final day against Queen's Park Rangers. Hasn't quite hit the ground up to the standards that he reached before. And that's largely because of lack of match sharpness, you'd feel. And anyway, he's going to come in here for the remaining hour or so of this one. Helped on by Snodgrass. And Clayton's going to be pulled back.
It's almost like Cardiff just weathered that little bit of pressure that Leeds built up after the goal. They're fairly comfortable at the moment. And from South Wales.
Yeah, it's credit to them, they're not playing like a side that's lost their last 2 away games, hasn't won away from home in 5. Third of the job done for them. Snodgrass. And pounded out in the end, it took 3 to do it. Clayton putting the pressure on him by Connolly, what a ball that is!
Well, that's as good as it gets in terms of a ball in from that kind of area, from a full-back or a winger. Absolutely sensational. Deserves better, Paul Connolly, for this. Quality in between the goalkeeper, in between the defenders, asking for his strikers to get on the end of it. It's teased in. Keogh can't get there, and McCormack agonisingly just cannot get there. But it's a great ball in. I would have hoped one of his strikers could have got on the end of it.
We'll see Kevin Phillips jumping out of the studio to get on the end of that one as well.
I would say so.
Well, they're creating, even if they're not converting. McPhail. Here's White. He's making some eye-catching runs up that left for Leeds. Clayton. Lees. Connolly. Finds Keogh. Oh, very nearly found Keogh. We mentioned 20 years ago about winning the old First Division title. Leeds 10 years ago, of course, was the run to the Champions League semi-final. Stephen McPhail, part of the setup then. And back here against Leeds, and it's great just to see him out there. He has, you might have noticed over the last year or so, missed a fair few games. He was diagnosed with cancer last season. A few problems with illness at the start of this as well. Snodgrass. Worked well to Connolly. And they've all stacked up at the far post, no one at the near.
That's where you're hoping that your two strikers are on the same wavelength, and maybe a third midfielder making it three, getting into those areas. A near post run, a far post run, and somebody coming in between them. And it didn't happen, and again, it's another good ball in from Paul Connolly. They work it well. Look at the fullback. He sneaks in behind Cardiff's defence, and then nobody coming across that near post. And he should be expecting better movement from his teammates.
Snodgrass doing the ugly side of the game, tracking back, but it's been given away in by Andrew Taylor. Now by Tom Lees. He's certainly grown into the central defensive role that he's been given this season at Leeds. Played it, of course, on loan at Bury last season, but started off playing at right back in the early games of this campaign.
The chance for Gunnarsson, yes. Aaron Gunnarsson.
Filled out, spotting a push there from Ben Turner.
It's been a fairly even afternoon all round. Two very, very fluent teams. Surprisingly low number of attempts at goal. Even level on possession. Very even game. Will please Cardiff more than it will Leeds United, because they've got their noses in front.
Turner making sure he got on the end of that. This is Snodgrass. Cardiff forced to concede the corner. Lee's header just sails over the bar.
That's the second time in this match that Tom Lees has been the one to get his head on an attacking corner. Under a lot of pressure, very difficult to score from there.
Live Championship football for you next weekend, live from the Riverside. Middlesbrough, who were comfortably beaten at Southampton yesterday against Watford. That's live 5:15 Sky Sports HD2. Malky Mackay's former club, of course. His current one, well, the question is, can they keep a clean sheet here? Just two this season. They had one when they won 1-0 at West Ham on day one, that late goal from Kenny Miller. They had one when we saw them at home against Leicester City last month. Here's Norbo, heads it out. Don't be surprised to see Aaron Gunnarsson trot across again.
Still going for it. Both central defenders moving forward. That's a positive sign.
He's not going to get caught in the hoardings this time. Because Norbo meets it. Helped on by Howson. Gunnarsson. McPhail. It's there for Hudson to attack. He'd stayed forward, the big centre-half.
He wants a corner, doesn't he, Mark Hudson? This is a dangerous ball in, under pressure as well, but gets it into a dangerous area. Hudson attacks it. It's Kez Norbo he's competing with.
touch was off a Leeds boot. Kind of McPhail, so a throw into Cardiff.
To say a lot of the time, I think Leeds United are playing into Cardiff's hands. You know, Rahubka kicking the ball long a lot of the time, right down the throats of big Mark Hudson and Ben Turner. McCormack and Keogh not going to be able to compete aerially against those two lads.
Very nearly a mix-up between goalkeeper and defender again.
Because Norbo nearly overdoes it.
Talked on about the distribution from the goalkeeper. Is it down to the individual, or do you think it's a game plan that he is going long or not seeing the passes out from the back?
Yeah, no, I think he needs more options from his defenders. I think the centre halves and the full-backs need to make the pitch wider, need to give him options and say to Cardiff City, if you want to close us down, you're going to have to commit more bodies forward. But kicking the ball long, not a good tactic for me.
Turner. To Taylor. Whittingham. Gunnarsson.
Let's have a look now. Again, it's an early kick from Rahubka. Asking McCormack to chase.
Leeds captain Howson. There's Kisnorbo. Pugh and White. McPhail sliding in, breaking it up, but Leeds still have it here with 80 White. White might need a bit of help. It's given by Adam Clayton. Back to Lees. Here's Connolly. Tom Lees. And up goes the flag. And, the ball was comfortably cleared away by Hudson.
I just think they need a little bit more craft, a bit more culture in those kind of areas. Maybe a little bit more patience.
Whittingham. And Andrew Taylor, once off Middlesbrough. Lees. Adam Clayton. Leeds seeking an equaliser just before half-time. Snodgrass. Snodgrass again tussling with Conway, the two Scotsmen. Here's another one, McNaughton.
Working really hard, Cardiff City, all over the pitch. Fullbacks getting plenty of assistance from Craig Conway and Don Cowie in the wider areas, making it difficult for Leeds United to break them down.
Turner too strong for Keogh. It's a Leeds throw. Snodgrass. McCormack!
There's an important block in there, you know. Mark Hudson, I think it is, the skipper. It's a touch on that because Ross McCormack had a good contact on that attempt.
Mason. Two added minutes. Andrew Taylor. Here's McPhail. Connolly. Outstrides the Cardiff captain Hudson. Opportunity here for Howson.
That's another block from Mark Hudson. May have hurt himself this time, the skipper, but that's two in a couple of minutes. It's a better ball, it's a diagonal ball, but what they do is they pick up the second ball. Howson does well. Look at Hudson. Just stretches out a leg. The skipper cannons off that boot. Just wondering whether in stretching, he might have tweaked a groin or something. It's in a bit of discomfort, the Cardiff captain.
Well, they'll look to see it through to half-time, and then they can assess the problem. The more immediate concern is this Leeds corner that Snodgrass takes. Keogh comes near post. Gunnarsson got it behind. Leeds will reload. Hudson was the first to it, and emphatically so. Clayton. Keogh. Here's Pugh. Gunnarsson gives it away. Pugh. Howson. White. The 2 minutes of signal time have been played. And there's no time for Leeds to launch an attack. Not a lot between the sides in the first half, in truth. The Joe Mason goal is the difference after some slack defending by the now departed Darren O'Dea. Half-time at Elland Road. Leeds United 0, Cardiff City 1.